to the biofeedback specialist and they would record what we saw. Now, the US military then took, all these reports that kids were doing and they began to say, okay, hey, we've got a double check here, a check system, because like I was the child, I would always see the end result. Whatever that was, that's what I would see in its fullness. The other boy who saw with me, he would see, you know, the same thing, but he would see the steps that would lead up to it, and he would see, what were the consequences of each step. So, if you went one direction, what could happen? What was the result of that? The other child, he would just see, the steps that would take place. So they realized that, really they had detailed information about things that were going to happen. And they begin to try to play with those things, saying, if we don't want this end result or this consequence, what do we need to change in the mix to be able to, um, stop that from occurring or happening? So they begin to try to play with time and manipulate it. What's interesting is that no one was able to see past 2024. That was as far as the Lord would allow anybody to see.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it was interesting. And so that was the first, that was the Looking Glass. After the Looking Glass, we entered into the Star Wars Now projects, which originally were called Scanante and